Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. My name is Esther and this is Q-Est Fashion Hub. If you're seeing this channel for the first time, you are in the right place and you're welcome. Please hit that subscribe button and join the amazing family. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you and thank you and thank you for always coming back to watch our videos. So guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this beret on the thumbnail with structure effect. Okay, the materials I will be needing for this tutorial are the pattern paper, your crinoline, your doll face, your scuba fabric. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to do is to fold my pattern paper. Like, you're going to fold it into 4. You fold into 2 first, then fold again as if you want to cut a peplum. Okay, so that is what I'm doing. Basically, you fold it to 2 and then fold again into 4. Okay, after folding, I'm just going to start taking my measurements. So from that point that you can see me touching, I'm going to be measuring 5.5 inches. I ended up using 5.5 inches, but in the video I mentioned 6 inches. But while I was doing my voiceover, before I started sewing, I discovered that it was going to be too big. I didn't want it too big though, so I decided to reduce it into 5.5 inches. Okay, so you're just going to be marking 5.5 inches all the way around. And if you don't want your beret to be as big as mine, you can reduce it to 5 inches instead of 5.5 inches. Okay, so at this point I'm just measuring 5.5 inches all the way around. Okay, after that I'm just going to grab my scissors and then cut it out. Now we're going to be cutting 2 of this particular circle that I just marked. Now we're going to be needing 2 of it. So, but because I didn't want to waste the pattern paper and the fabric at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and then cut it out first, and then when I'm done cutting, then cut the first one, then I will shape the second one. Okay, so by the time you're done, you're going to have something like this, like a full circle. So initially I wanted to use this fabric, this pink fabric, but I ended up not using it because it wasn't enough for what I wanted to use it for. Okay, so now at this point, if you want to cut, I used my zigzag scissors, not my regular scissors. Okay, it is fine if you don't have a zigzag scissors. You can also use your regular scissors. Okay, so if you use your zigzag scissors, it's just going to give it a shape, you know, this beautiful finishing inside. Okay, because we are not going to be lining this beret. Okay, so I've gone ahead to cut this doll face. I ended up using this particular one, like I said earlier. So after that, I'm going to be cutting the second one. Remember I said we are going to be needing 2 for this tutorial. Okay, so from that point I'm going to be marking 3 inches round. The reason I'm using 3 inches is that I'm still going to be adding a band with a black fabric to it. I'm going to be using a black fabric to add a band to it. But if you're not going to be adding a band, please use 2.5 inches instead of 3 inches. Okay, I'm going to be adding a band to it. That's why I'm using 3 inches. I hope it is clear. So you're just going to go ahead and mark 3 inches all the way around. Okay, if you're going to be recreating the exact design you saw on the thumbnail, go ahead and use 3 inches. But if you have a smaller head, the reason I use this is because I want my beret to be able to fit even when I make my hair. Okay, I don't want to struggle to wear this beret. I want to be free and to be okay on me. Okay, but if you have a smaller head, you can use 2.5 instead of 3 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this on the fabric, and then I'm going to cut it out. What I did was to pin it down first with my pin. I secured it to my pin so that it doesn't end up moving around. Okay, so it will be easy for me to cut it out. Okay, so this is what we have. I've gone ahead to cut it out, and then this piece you can see is measuring 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. I'm going to be using this one for that. If you look at your beret fabric, it always have this small design at the middle point, okay, at the middle. So that is what I'm going to be using, 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Okay, so now I'm trying to identify the wrong and the right side of this fabric. It's so similar, it is very difficult to identify both the right and the wrong side of this fabric. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and pin it like this, and then I'm going to sew it around. So for this 1.5 inches by 1.5 inch, I'm going to be sewing it like I'm illustrating on the screen. From that part, I will sew it down. Can you see? Yes. And then I'm going to leave that part open so that I'll be able to turn it inside out. Okay, so now for the structure that I made, the structure design on top of the beret, I used this doll face. Okay, and it's measuring 5.5 inches by 11 inches. But if you want your own to be longer, you can increase your measurements. Okay, so and I have 4 of it there. So for this particular one, I initially wanted to use a doll face also for the band. This one is measuring 2.5 inches, but I later changed my mind. I used a scuba fabric also for the band, which is the black part you can see on your thumbnail. Okay, so I didn't use this doll face again. I later used a scuba fabric. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to fold this particular one I'm going to be using for the structure. I will stitch it at the middle like that. Remember I said I have 4 of it. I'm going to be stitching it all the way at the middle, like fold it into 2 and then stitch it down like you saw me illustrating on the screen. So I just went ahead to do all of this, and then when I was done, this is what I had. So I just went ahead to notch all around so that it will be easy when you flip it out, flip it inside out. Can you see what I have at this point? And then I also went ahead to cut. This is okay. Can you see? I wanted to use this one earlier, but I later changed my mind like I said earlier. So this one that I'm using now is measuring 3 inches, okay, by okay. So for you to know what is going to enter, you're going to measure around that part for you to know the measurements you're going to use. Okay, if you don't want your beret to be too big, please use 2.5 instead of 3 inches that I used. Okay, it's going to stick on out very well. Okay, so now when I was done, I just went ahead to notch like this. Can you see? I notched and then turn it inside out, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach my band to it. Can you see? So what I did was to first pin it down. I wanted my band to be 1 inches by the time I'm done stitching. Okay, so I made it 3 inches. By the time you fold it, it's going to be 1.5. So we are going to be using half an inch to stitch, and we will end up having 1 inch by the time we are done stitching it. Okay, so I just went ahead to pin it all the way around. Note that before you start pinning, you're going to leave like 1 inch before you pin. I don't know if you understand. Leave 1 inch. Don't pin that part. You will understand it better by the time I start sewing this. Okay, so can you see that part? Because we are still going to join both together. Can you see? You open it like this and then join it together. You join it together to give you this clean finishing. Okay, so you open it like this and join it together, and then you're going to fold it back. Okay, so at this point I'm just trying to use my pins to secure it in place so you understand what I'm trying to explain here. So after pinning it like this, I'm still going to remove my pin. So I'm just pinning it because of the explanation I'm doing here. So after that, you're just going to go ahead and stitch it. Okay, so for the structure, I've make sure you iron the structure effect very well so that it comes out very beautiful. Okay, so I went ahead to close the fold and then I turn it inside out, then I ironed it. Okay, so for the structure, remember I said it's 11 inches. Okay, 5.5 by 11 inches. So your crinoline that you're going to be cutting is going to be 10 inches. It's going to be 1 inch shorter than the main fabric. Okay, so what you're going to do is that I'm just going to insert the crinoline inside. Okay, make sure that the seam line is facing up, so I'm inserting it inside the door face. So whatever fabric you want to use, please don't use a fabric that is too thick. Don't use a scuba fabric for this structure effect. Okay, because it's going to be too thick when you're going to stitch it together and then place all of them together. You know, we are using 4, so if you use a scuba fabric, it's just going to be too bulky when you're trying to attach them together. Okay, so I have 4 of them there. Okay, so I'm just going to fold it like this and then I'm going to stitch it. Okay, so now for the midpoint of those beret, remember I cut out 1.5 by 1.5, so I've stitched it, turn it inside out like that, and then I also iron it. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold my beret into 2 and then fold it again into 4, and then I'm going to use my chalk to mark the midpoint. After marking the midpoint, I just picked my seam ripper and then I poked a hole inside the middle, so it will enable me to insert this this strip design in the middle. Okay, so I'm just inserting it like that, then go ahead and pull it out. So this is what we have. So when you are stitching, you're just going to go ahead and then fold it. Can you see what I'm doing? You're going to fold it like this and then you're going to stitch it down. You can tack it with needle and thread, or you can also use your sewing machine to stitch it down. Whatever one you do is fine. It's fine. So when I was done, I attached it like that, and I also remember I used my zigzag scissors to cut, so it just help create little design at that edge. So if you want to line your own, you can go ahead and line it. If you want me to do a full tutorial on how to do a lined beret, please drop a comment on the comment section. I'm going to do a full tutorial on it. Thank you. So after I was done, this is the structure. I just turn it inside out like so, and I have 4 of them right here. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to start placing my structure effect on my beret. You're just going to create any design of your choice. Okay, just be creative at this point. So this is me just creating my design. You can make them longer than this if you want, but it is not necessary that it is too long. That please don't make it too long. I beg your pardon, don't make it too long. Okay, so just use the structure to create any design of your choice, and then any design of your choice. So I just went ahead to arrange it. Can you see? I placed one first, then place the other one on top, and then the third one, and then the fourth one. I'm just going to place it on top like this. Just be creative. Just create any design of your choice. It's just going to come out fine. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab my needle and thread, and then yes, I'm using a brooch on top of it like this. So before attaching the brooch, I'm just going to use my needle and thread and tack this structure effect in place. After tacking it, I just go in from the back. Remember I said don't use that you should not use a scuba fabric. This is the reason I said you should not use a scuba fabric, because it's going to be too thick. It's just going to end up breaking the needle and you won't be able to attach it or tack them together. Okay, remember that on a non scuba fabrics are very thick. They are thick, unlike a doll face. Okay, so just use a doll face and it will be fine. Okay. So I'm just going in and out, just securing my structure effect in place, and then I just go ahead also and attach my brunch. Okay. So when I was done, this was the final look of the beret. Can you see how beautiful and easy it is to create this beret? Very easy and simple. So guys, can you see how beautiful it looks? So if this tutorial has been helpful to you, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to like, drop a comment, and share this video. See this beautiful and cute beret. You can rock this to church, to party, anywhere. You can rock this anytime, any day. Okay, please don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all our social media handles. Okay, my name is Esther and this is Q-Est Fashion Hub. Don't stop learning, keep learning. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.